He looked at her and told her, I don't have any money. I am not rich like your father. I can't even afford a luxurious kind of wedding. Few weeks down the line, OBIORA's parents had returned back to Asaba and they had come to see their handsome grandson. And it was during this period that the baby was named, and the baby was named Chijindu Umejiako. Ngozi was really excited. She was glad. She was at peace with herself. Her mother-in-law welcomed her well. The way her mother-in-law spoke to her more like as if she knew her. And while she was catching up with her mother-in-law in the kitchen, her mother-in-law had told her everything about herself. And that was when it clicked that OBIORA actually loved her from the moment he laid his eyes on her. The way her mother-in-law kept on praising her, stating everything that had happened even before the marriage. In fact, they knew about the small wedding they held in the parlor because it was short. So all along, OBIORA was keeping his parents posted. In fact, they knew everything that was going on. She was really glad that OBIORA came from a very decent home. He had a very great relationship with his parents, and he was actually a homemaker. At least from the little she had observed while they were here, and even when they were in their mini apartment, OBIORA was a home-oriented kind of man. He was always there when he was needed, and he pre-planned his life. Even when he was trying or faking to be poor, he also planned his life. He saved pirates at the time when his shop was supposed to expire. He planned everything ahead of time. And while her mom, Mrs. KALU, was enjoying every day of her life, she was dining and whining with the Umejiakos. Who would have ever thought? OBIORA and his parents had decided to go pay a visit to the KALUs. This was to pay due respects, pay the bride price the way it's supposed to be done, and if possible, get married to Ngozi the right way, not the regular parlor wedding. He is a known man, and he should do things the right way. He had accomplished what he had come for, and this was the time he wanted to set things straight with Mr. KALU. He didn't want to make Mr. KALU feel like he came to deceive him or something of such. So OBIORA, his both parents, and his two elder brother alone went to pay Mr. KALU a visit. They wanted to pay him a visit when no one was there to interrupt the conversation. So that day, OBIORA called Mr. KALU and told him that he was coming to pay him a visit. Mr. KALU asked if everything was okay with Ngozi. And OBIORA said, yes, sir. Ngozi's fine. The baby is fine. Mother-in-law is doing well. So Mr. KALU gave a go-ahead. When OBIORA arrived at Mr. KALU's compound, Mr. KALU was shocked as he saw cars coming in left, right, center. He wasn't sure if that was OBIORA or someone else, as it was only OBIORA that had booked an appointment with him. So like he waited in his house for OBIORA. So who are all those people? And the moment he got outside to know who had come to see him, to his greatest surprise, he saw OBIORA. OBIORA was the first person to come out from the car. OBIORA greeted him, good day, sir, and he went towards Mr. KALU. Mr. KALU hugged him and asked him who was the owner of all the cars. OBIORA looked at him and said, sir, I would like to see you inside. There's no communication to be done outside. And they entered inside, as well as OBIORA's parents. While they got talking, OBIORA went down on his knees and thanked Mr. KALU for taking care of him, for teaching him how to make shoes, and for giving his daughter to him, as he has come to pay due respect with his people. Mr. KALU looked at OBIORA and said, I never knew you were wealthy. And he looked at the Umejiakos and asked, how come your son was so down to earth? Someone wouldn't even suspect that he was a wealthy person. The Umejiakos looked at Mr. KALU and said, that was how we trained all our kids. OBIORA, you see here, had always had interest in making shoes. Right from when he was growing up, he always wanted to make shoes. And the moment he heard that you learned from the whites, that you had the opportunity to work with the whites, he really wanted to come and learn from you. Not because he didn't want to go abroad, but because he wanted to know why your company was special. He wanted to know why you were unique. And he knew that If he come in a pompous way, probably you were not going to listen to him. So he decided to reduce himself to the lowest. He decided to do anything in order to get your attention, in order for you to employ him. Mr. KALU looked at OBIORA and said, wow, who would have thought? You were even ready to eat street food, eat bread and coke. How did you cope? OBIORA laughed and said, Papa, it wasn't easy, but it was something worth doing, as I learned from you. And I am here to tell you thank you. Thank you for imparting knowledge on me. Thank you for allowing me to take notes. Thank you for giving me the free will to create designs while I was with you. One thing I promise you is that I'm not going to replicate any of your design. I owe you that respect. Mr. KALU was pleased. He wasn't embarrassed. At least he was well-to-do. He was glad that OBIORA had come to say the truth. He had come to become sincere. He wasn't someone that wanted to throw wealth on anybody's face. Mr. KALU welcomed Umejiak as well, and they talked about a proper wedding for Ngozi. OBIORA was glad. He was really happy to live his true life, not because he was sad when he was poor. At least then he got the opportunity to find true love. But at the same time, he was happy to be getting married to Ngozi for the world to see, not the regular parlor wedding. While Mr. KALU was still talking to OBIORA, his two daughters, Chisom and Amaka, returned from the market, and they had seen cars in their compound. Amaka quickly told Chisom, I told you that that man is going to come for my hands in marriage. Maybe he told me that he's into importing and exporting. Chisom was looking at Amaka, which man? So Amaka told Chisom, so you don't remember Ian, that wealthy man that I told you about, that I had met the day I went to the bank. We had been talking for a long period of time, and he assured me that he was going to come for my hands in marriage. Chisom looked at Amaka and said, I thought you people just started talking just 2 months ago, and he's already here for your hands in marriage. Okay, if that's the case, how come he did not inform you? Amaka said, probably he wanted to surprise me, because I've told him everything about us. He even knows our house. He had come to drop me here multiple times. But when Amaka looked around, she did not recognize any car there. But she didn't want to spoil her steez now. She had already bragged about Ina, and she quickly entered the house. But to their greatest surprise, there was no Ina. No one there looked like Ina. But it was OBIORA and his family, and they entered into the kitchen and told themselves, so all along, OBIORA was rich. All along, he had a family. So why was he pretending to be poor? Why? Chisom looked at Amaka and said, my dear, you see all these rich men that will come and be pretending to be poor. I hate that type of relationship. I hate it. It makes me angry. If you know you are rich, be rich. Place yourself where you want to play. But don't reduce yourself to become poor. And you tell me you are testing me. My dear, I am not to be tested. I am a woman of high volume. Don't come and test me with all those things now. What kind of rubbish behavior is this? I have a feeling that our sister knew that he was not poor. If not, why will Ngozi throw herself at him? Ngozi that barely comes out. You know Ngozi, even when we were in UK, she barely associated herself with people. She was always reading books. She wanted to achieve master's, PhD. But all of a sudden, when OBIORA came her way, PhD went to one corner and she started chasing love. I have a feeling she knew all along that that guy was rich, and that's why she went to shoot her shot. That was what the both sisters concluded. After OBIORA was done communicating with Mr. KALU, he and his people had returned back home, and they gave the proper information to Ngozi and her mom. Few days down the line, wedding preparation started. People buying different ashebis. Ngozi went for various testings for her wedding gown, cake testing, different activities going up and down. And it was during this period that Amaka and Chisom decided to pay them a visit. After Ngozi had given birth for over 1 month, they had never come. The moment they got to the house, after Ngozi welcomed them, they looked at Ngozi and said, Ngo, tell us the truth. Do you mean to say that you did not know that OBIORA was rich all along? Ngozi looked at her sisters and said, I never knew. And this is not even the time to talk about who was rich and who is poor. It's time to prepare for my wedding, so let's not start talking about all those things. Her both sisters looked at her and said, hey, I know you want to rub it off, that you were the first to get married, and now you got married to a wealthy man. Ngozi looked at them and said, no, I'm not trying to rub it off. But if you knew you wanted to have this conversation with me, you would have come since when I gave birth. Probably if you had paid me a visit out of pity that I was poor, you would have found out that I was rich. But you never showed up. If OBIORA had not come to our family house, will you have showed up here? Don't try to play that card on me. When you were insulting him and calling him dirty thing, were you expecting him to be rich? I beg you. And she continued what she was doing. Amaka and Chisom could not get angry. Deep down, they knew they looked down on him. And now he is wealthy. They couldn't even look at him in his eyes. While in the house, they always avoided him. They barely came out of their room till when he had gone to work. And even in the evening, the moment they knew he was arriving, they would run back to the room. They couldn't face him. At a point, their mom had told him to go and apologize to him. That wasn't the right way to behave. They were under his roof and they should respect him. That was the proper thing to do. And she quickly told them, OBIORA isn't going to hold it against you. Do you think other people had not called him poor? Do you think other people in the factory did not look down on him? If he wants to be angry, that means he's going to fight against the world. Don't try to make pride come before anything. You've done what you've done. You've said what you've said. Go and apologize to him and live a free life. So, Chisom and Amaka had gone to apologize to OBIORA one day when he had returned from work. They tendered their sincere apology and OBIORA accepted it. And a few days down the line, OBIORA and Ngozi got married in a very beautiful and luxurious way. A wedding that was the talk of the town. Her wedding gown stood out, her cake from the best. Everything about her wedding was from the best. OBIORA wanted to just make her happy and comfortable for standing by him all through the time. Through thick, through thin. Ngozi was always there. Her love never shivered. Her love never shook. It stood and it remained firm. And after the wedding, her siblings had returned back to their father's house. They were really glad. One thing Amaka and Chisom learned was never to look down on anyone. And few days down the line, Aina had actually come to see Mr. KALU concerning the hands of Amaka. He and his people had come to get married to Amaka. Amaka was glad. Yes, she knew that Aina wasn't as wealthy as OBIORA, but she was glad to be getting married to someone that appreciates her, someone that likes her, and someone that adores her. Her wedding took place. OBIORA had given them the best wedding gift ever, as Ngozi had tipped OBIORA, her husband, that her sister had always loved a particular car. So OBIORA gave it to her as a wedding gift. Thank you very much for listening to the story of the day. We still remain your favorite storyteller, Zika. I'd like you to share what you've learned from this whole story, from the part 1, from the part 2. Tell us what you've learned. Please do not forget to check out our previous stories. There's so many stories out there and I know you're going to love each and every one of them. Stay tuned. We'll see you again in our next story. Bye for now.